card, it says, 5th at Lebanon Valley, all time in the modified wins, 35. 1990 and 1994 track championships. 5th on the small block list with 29 wins. Big block and small block wins on the same night in 4 different decades. Doubleheader wins in 1976, 81, 91, and 2001. 1982 State Fair Championship at the Syracuse Fairgrounds. 5 wins for the Lebanon Valley Race of Kings. This little 3x5 card tells you from 1970, but it doesn't tell you about Dickie Larkin. The first time I met Dickie Larkin, I sat behind him at Lebanon Valley. I'm not sure of the year, 1970, 71, because they all sort of, rushed together. We're still here, so what difference does it make? And Art Stewart was the announcer. If he said Eddie Del Molino IV once, he said it 40 friggin' times during the night. Well, by the time I got done listening to Art Stewart talk about Eddie Del Molino IV, and you got to remember, my husband worked there at the time, I didn't like Eddie Del Molino IV. But Dickie Larkin said to me, oh, he's a really nice guy. You're going to like him. You're going to like him. I didn't like him. I didn't care what Dickie Larkin was telling me. Well, the next thing I know, Dickie Larkin's on the racetrack. And all of a sudden, he's in the middle of the backstretch. At that time, they had the pit gate at the backstretch. And he's stuck in the wall. And his car number was number 8. Well, from then on, that night I went over after the races, because I didn't work there at the time. I went over and I talked to Dickie. I still wasn't so sure about Eddie Del Molino IV, but I did like Dickie. Well, then Dickie got married to Beth, and I loved Beth. And consequently, we had Ryan, and we had Kaylee. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful watching him grow. As a person, Dickie as a person, you watched him with his wife, you watched him with his kids, you watched him with the family. Now we're all in the position that I've had enough of Honda Speedway shoved down my throat, because at that time they were NASCAR. Lebanon Valley was the outlaw track. So Dickie Larkin and I had a relationship going. Pretty good one. We needed to promote Lebanon Valley. And without people like Dickie Larkin that gathered all of that Great Barrington area together, which you can see by the former owners and pit crews and sponsors that are at his table, we needed to promote it. It didn't matter what it was. If it could be monogrammed, it was monogrammed with Dickie Larkin's car. And it was every car he was ever with. I don't believe he ever upset anybody but Howie Commander. Now, he wins the championship. And I say to him, have a good time with this. You've deserved it, right? So he gets up there and he takes his jacket off, and he's got 115 on this side and 99 on this side, because they shared the championship. Well, when it was Dickie's turn to talk, he said, I've been here so long, I can remember Howie Commander with hair. I can remember Howie Commander without hair. And now I see Howie Commander again with hair. And believe me when I tell you, it didn't go over well. But no matter what the situation, you could count on Dickie Larkin to help you. He helped Lebanon Valley and myself in good times and in bad. And racing does bring an equal amount of bad with the good. But what it does, it unites all of us. Every track represented here tonight should say, thank you, Dickie Larkin, because you've helped bridge that gap between one track or another track. Every division has helped you. I can't be more honored for any reason in the world than to say, congratulations, Dickie Larkin and family.
Yeah! thank you, everyone, and I'd sure like to congratulate Mr. Emmett. First-class guy, always came by my pit area and waved and smiled. Jack Cottrell, first-class guy, on and off the racetrack. Marty and Hertha, well, Marty always liked Krellis better than me, but other than that, we became pretty good friends over the years. Hertha, I learned early with Hertha that either on the good side of her or the bad side of her. The good side was the way to go with Hertha all the way. Before I get started here tonight, I'd just like to say, I'd like to include somebody else. I look over at my table and I see an empty chair. In that chair tonight would have been one of my biggest fans, one of my best friends, and my daughter Callie. Three people all wrapped into one. Well, Callie died in October, and her favorite color was pink. So I got some pink here near my heart tonight, so she could be here with me. I'll try to make this quick. I know everybody's getting bored. Just a few people I need to thank. Dave and Julie Raffin, owners of my Village Bride number 99s, some of the prettiest cars I ever had. I can never pay you guys back. Johnny Wilbur and his wife Sue and Buddy Hill and his wife Diane, who prepared those cars every week so I could run for a championship. And every year from Super Dirt Week, they would send me to Syracuse with some of the prettiest cars ever up there. And not to be outdone by them, sometimes I'd bring them back with some of the best smash cars that ever left there. Jim Cavanaugh, who's been with me, if you saw me at a racetrack, you'd see him at a racetrack. Didn't matter if it was Canada, Pennsylvania, Syracuse, whatever it was. He was always by my side. One of my best buddies, wherever I went, he was with me. I used to like it the best at Lebanon Valley when I would overdrive the car and put something in the fence. It was all my fault. Somehow, by the time I went to the clubhouse, Jimmy had everybody convinced in there that something broke on my car. And it was my fault. Thanks, Jim. And then there's Beth. She never wanted to be called Dickie's wife or Larkin's wife. All she ever wanted to do was be called Beth. And she's been with me since she's been 13 years old. And the only reason I'm up here tonight is because of her. There's no way I would ever made this, never made it through it. She always supported me and stood behind me. Thanks, Beth. Two things before I go. I know everybody's getting bored, but...
Never bored with you, Dickie.
First thing was asked me one time is, what did you like about winning, and why did you want to go back again? Well, that'd be after the race in the trailer, standing there talking to my crew and my friends, having a cold beer. And all of a sudden, at the side door of my trailer, would be two people standing there, a husband and wife, two strangers I'd never seen before. And all of a sudden, behind their pant legs, would pop this little kid out with his eyes this big looking up at me. All he wanted to do was shake my hand, get my autograph, maybe get his picture taken with me. So the next day, he could go back and call his friends and say, hey, my mom and dad took me in to meet Dickie Larkin. And I became that kid's hero that night. And that's why I couldn't wait to go back the following week so I could meet that kid or meet another new kid. So for the next 2 years, I'd be that kid's hero. And the last thing before I go, somebody asked me what was the biggest feature win, which one meant the most to you. That's an easy one, you see. My son Ryan, when he was 2 years old, he lost all his hearing. And I watched him grow up in the world and laugh and smile all the time, and nothing he couldn't do. I watched him start his own business and be successful. And then I was there that night with Callie and Beth by my side, and I saw him win his first modified feature at Lebanon Valley. And that night, I got to stand in Victory Circle with all four of us together for the last time. And that's the biggest feature win I ever had and the one I remember the most. Thank you.